Hello everyone, it's Tonya with Scribbles in Time. I am here today to do a flip through of my latest journal. I'm going to try to just kind of jump right into it. I get really torn back and forth because I do know that I ramble a lot. I do enjoy talking. I enjoy trying to kind of catch up with everyone. I really feel like I've developed friendships with so many of you, and this is kind of how we have our visiting time. But I had a lady point out that one of my videos, it was the Grace series, excuse me, where I was going through and kind of comparing two of the journals and, you know, just kind of talking about my thought process with them and all of that. And apparently I was 17 minutes before I actually flipped open the journal, and I had not realized that. So, you know, she pointed that out to me. So I promise I will try to do better. I do ramble a lot. I guess in my mind, I guess I always think that, you know, you can fast forward. If you're not interested in the talking part, just kind of fast forward to the part where I open. I don't know. But anyway, obviously I never want to say anything to offend anyone. I just like to catch up and visit, and kind of also like to kind of explain my thought process when I create journals, because I think that matters. So it's just part of the personality of the journal, I think, when you kind of explain where your thoughts were. So anyway, how many minutes am I at now? 1 minute and 30 seconds. I feel so bad. I wanted to reach out and ask her, how does she keep herself, you know, kind of refrained on her videos, but then I didn't want to get into any lengthy conversation. It's just one of those things. I guess it's a personal, you know, thing of how you film, and for me, apparently I ramble. So I'm sorry if that bothers anyone. But yeah, maybe I should even list what minute and second the flip through actually starts, so that people can just fast forward to that if they're not interested in hearing me ramble. So with that being said, let's talk about the journal. This journal is, in my mind, I hate to say concept journal. I guess it's a concept journal because in my mind, this is kind of a maybe series of the path she walks. And to me, we're all kind of on this journey of life. We're here for our whatever length of time that we're here for. And we're walking a path and a journey together, and things that we collect along the way. I think of these journals as being able to, you know, stick stuff into that we collect on our path. So that was where my mind was with this journal, the path she walks. And I feel like that this is probably going to be several different journals with this kind of thought process going, because for me, it's just kind of where my mind is right now. And so with that being said, this is just, again, kind of a, you know, whimsical, quirky kind of journal with all different kind of items in it. It's not really a theme per se. I did break down and use one of my wheat pens. If you were watching me, you know, a year and a half ago, you'll remember I love wheat. I have many wheat pens, brooches and stuff, and I do struggle with letting them go, but I did break down and use one of my wheat pens. I used a lot of the snippet rolls that I got, or I guess snippet strips that I got from Dee at the paper drawer. I really want to encourage all of you to go over and check out her channel. She's very new to YouTube. Go check her out, subscribe, and you know, look at her creation. She's awesome. But I have a lot of her snippet strips, and I'm sure that she's open to doing, you know, orders for these. She doesn't have an Etsy, so you just have to kind of reach out to her on her YouTube. I think she lists an email on there also. So yeah, reach out to her if you're interested in any of her snippet strips. These are just absolutely awesome, in my opinion, for using as backgrounds. And I mean, you can create your own. It's just a, you know, a matter of, she would even do a tutorial on it. But to me, when I'm in the midst of creating a journal, sometimes I don't like to have to stop and create little accent pieces. If I've got kind of a process rolling, I like to have kind of a supply of what I like to use. So I haven't taken the time to create any of these myself, and she's so awesome at it. So yeah, check her out. Dee with the paper drawer. And so anyway, that's what I used for the spine of this journal. and for the background behind this wheat pen. And then I did the little rope rug behind it. This is not permanently attached yet. I did kind of tack it down with a little spot of glue, so don't be shocked if that falls out during this flip through, because I am going to actually put the initial of whoever purchases this journal right here on this piece of wood. I'm excited to do that, and I do want to be able to do it, you know, while it's not attached to the book, but I went ahead for the video purposes and just kind of tacked it down right there. And this is different layers of book covers. And here on this side between this writing journal and the front of the journal, I put this little string of rope with these little pearl seed beads. It's kind of a little fun interactive thing to do. I was going to tie knots and actually space these apart so that they wouldn't move, but then I started thinking, you know, I can't decide if I like them spaced like that. Can you see it? Yeah. I don't know if I like them spaced like that, or if I like them kind of in clusters of threes, because I am kind of do the odd number kind of thing. So anyway, they move around, and I like that. To me, that's fun. A little fabric tab that says Scribbles in Time, because that's what the journal is for, to put your little scribbles in time in. And then here's where I used more of these snippet strips. So much fun. I made the spine with that, and then tied it together with the little piece on the front. And on the back, so I put this piece of burlap coming across, and it is very stiff so that it won't unfray. And I've got the little faux buckle. Well, I mean, they are buckles, but they're not functional. They're there for decoration. They're fixed onto the journal, and the burlap strip comes across the back, and then here is the back of the journal. I have these wooden buttons, and I have the burlap kind of folded over on itself with these wooden buttons holding it on. And when I get to the back of the journal on the inside, you'll see where they're stitched on the other side. There's also a button. The back is very grunged up, and I don't even know if I did measurements. I started filming once already, and again, I rambled too much before I opened up the journal. Then I made myself stop, because all I could remember was the woman telling me 17 minutes before I opened a journal. That was horrible. It stung. Anyway, so somewhere around 7 1/4. The depth of the journal is about 4 3/4 inches. And she's a big one. I didn't get the length. Sorry, I did all of this already, but I was rambling typical Tonya style and realized I was running up too much time. So anyway, I've got to get that out of my mind, because now I'm not being me. So I got to be me. When you open the journal up, let me start with the writing journal first, and then we'll talk about this side. This here, this writing journal, it was just a very plain book. Nothing, no pictures, no writing on the front. It wasn't real old. It was like, I believe 1940s, 1950s, somewhere in there. So it wasn't a real old book. It does have kind of that linen feel to it. But what I really wanted to, I guess, display on this writing journal is this amazing trim. So I ordered this trim from someone, and I think it was on eBay. It may have been on Etsy, but they only had this little amount. This is it. And let me tell you, I don't know how well this shows up on camera, but this stuff is so cool. I mean, it is old. It looks like they probably pulled it off of a piece of furniture or something. It is just very cool. No smell to it. It you know, feels clean. It feels flexible, pliable. Little areas here and there, like right there, you can feel a little stiffness from glue. There's like here, you can feel where there's glue on it, but it just, the character of this stuff is so yummy. I love it. And then, so I created a pocket here on the front and on this journal here. And I wanted the reverse of it to show, because to me it kind of has that same color tone as the burlap. And you can barely see that journal peeking through here, but it has kind of the same color tone as this journal. So that's where I wanted to use this. And then I used some upholstery fabric that I had ordered from Selena at Amore Fabriques to do the spine, the inside of the spine, and I just thought the colors coordinated so well. So that's kind of what you see here when your eyes go to this portion. And then in the writing journal, it is, I haven't counted the pages, but you can see this is the original inside of the book, front and back. And this had a nameplate on there, and it had a date, and it said 1939. And sadly, I had to cover part of that to attach the writing journal. But I still tried to get it to where the year would show. It kind of peeks out there. So the writing journal does have the original paper here on the inside of the covers, which is a very pretty aged look. And then I just did a lot of variation of papers with little fabric and crocheted pieces throughout. But still plenty of places to add your own personality. This is a little angel, it kind of stuck a little bit, a little angel crocheted piece there. And book pages, I'm very into, in fact I did it on one of the bags in the art portion of the journal. I'm very in right now to kind of gessoing over book paper, but to still let part of the words show, but then gesso over the center, and that way you can paint a little picture, sketch a picture, or journal. But I didn't do it on these because I feel like the person who gets the journal needs to have that option. This is a little fabric tab there, some beautiful trim coming down the edge, some crocheted piece there, a beautiful piece of lace coming down the edge of that page, some little elementary writing paper. It's just basic, you know, journaling space. And in the center, I did put this old type letter. I struggled with this because this was never folded. This was crisp and straight from 1962, which I know in comparison to some of the things we use, that's not that old. But that is still really old for this paper to have not had any creases in it. So for me to actually have to fold this paper bothered me. And I sure didn't want to cut it off. Whoever gets it can, but I just chose to fold it that way and use it as the center of the signature. It is August the 22nd, 1962. And then as you flip, I did put a little crocheted like coaster kind of thing right there. Just a pretty little decorative piece. More paper, and that's the writing journal. It's just very plain and simple. It does have some embellishments in it, but it's ready to be personalized to whoever gets the journal. Some beautiful crochet trim there on the edge, and that's the writing journal. And then over when you start the art portion of the book, oh, I forgot to slide this back in. So over here under this pocket, I loved this old page from a time book. Both sides are like written on. I don't remember if it has a year. I don't think it does, but it's very obvious that it's old. Look at the handwriting there. And then this also says time book, and it does have a year, 1906. So I kind of just stacked those. This one on top is so delicate, so delicate. So I just kind of gently slid those in there. And if I end up keeping this journal, then I won't take those out. They're going to stay just like this so that I don't compromise them anymore. Anyway, so that's that. Now, when your eyes come over to this section, oh, sorry, one more thing. I put this beautiful old gold tone flower pin here. It can be moved. I did not permanently attach that. It can be moved to any other page in the journal or just used in a different way. But I did want to put that, include that in the journal, so I put that there. And then here, this piece here, now I did add some lace to the bottom. I bought this piece from a friend at her antique booth at a little antique shop, but my understanding is she got this off of Etsy. I do not know who she ordered it from, but it is beautiful. It has this Victorian lady here, and then just all kind of little doilies and buttons stitched on. And I got it with the intentions of like hanging it on my wall for inspiration. And I've had it for probably maybe 2 months, somewhere around in there, and just decided to go ahead and let it go and use it. And then on the back of this page, I put this tassel trim coming down the edge. And I did that so that when the journal is closed, it's just a pretty layering effect. And then I put a beautiful crochet doily, and I did put one of the zipper pulls on there. That kind of keeps it weighed down so that when you flop that over, it keeps this kind of in place, the weight of the zipper pull. The journal is just about too big to get it all in frame. I put one of the bags, one of my coffee dyed bags, in the center of this signature, and I just sewed here so that that's perfect for writing or sketching or painting. And inside of the bag, so I put a little pretty tab there like that, and then inside of the bag I made this here, these little scissors out. I bought a bunch of these scissors. If you ever watched my video on the inspiration ropes that I like to make and hang around you know, my craft room and in my house also, it just gives me inspiration. I just hang random things on it that make me happy, and usually they're old things. And I had ordered a bunch of little elementary old vintage style scissors, and then I created this little pouch, and just kind of tuck the scissors in there. They slide out pretty easily, so I was trying to kind of put the tassels through to hold them in, but I keep them in this bag, so it doesn't matter if they slide out. They're just going to go into the bag anyway. But there's a little charm there with different layering, and then just a grunged up pencil that's all grunged up is slid in there, and it comes out. There's like 2 little pouches. You can put, you know, a pen in each side, or a pencil, or a paintbrush, whatever. And then I kind of I pulled that down so it didn't show much, so that this could kind of poke out and show from the outside a little bit, like that. And then I tucked one of the canvas bags in here, and inside of the canvas bag, so I'm really into, I love things that have been worn by the water, excuse me, like things that have come out of the ocean. Here you'll see a rock that was in the ocean that has gotten worn over time. I fed it through the center of one of the signatures, and I have it hanging out as a charm. And so then I put this kind of seashell with this gold tone around it, so that those are both hanging out there. And since those both had kind of a, I guess, oceany theme because of the fact that they came from the ocean, and that's like a real rock that has been worn by water. I did not drill that hole. That hole came naturally from the wear of water. And then the shell. And so inside of this pouch, I put a sea stone. So my understanding of these are seeds or pods that fall off of trees and into the ocean, and they get worn by the water. So they're called, I think, sea pods, I think. Sea seeds, I don't remember. But I've got probably about 5 of these that I keep in a jar. I love them. I don't know, for me, I just love odd things like that. So I put one of those in that bag and tucked it here. And then again, this is the center of the signature. I already showed you the rock there. And then the other side of the bag has this beautiful trim. Look at these flowers that are on this trim. They are so pretty. There's like a little pearl in there. And then inside of it, I just tucked one of the little bookmarks. Oh, speaking of bookmarks, I made one for this journal. Let me find it. Oh, I think we haven't come up on it yet. Yeah, here, it's next. So yeah, here's the other side of that crochet doily. And then, oh, nope, it's here. Okay, we'll see. I'll show you the bookmark in a minute. Let's go ahead back to this. So on the other side of this crocheted piece is this really cool old doll. And again, this concept is, you know, the path she walks. And so in my mind, this was a doll that she had from when she was young. And I just attached it here on the edge of this page. I stitched her on. And then on the back side where she stitched on, I covered the stitches with fabric and then put this wooden butterfly button there. And then this is the bookmark. I thought I had skipped it and I actually had not gotten to it yet. So I made this bookmark by attaching this key on the end, a lamp key, and this metal number tag. And that hangs in there. And so from the outside of the journal, the key shows at the top and then the number tag at the bottom. It's so hard to get all of this in frame so that you can see that from the outside. Oh, the little piece came off. I knew it would. I had tacked it down. I'm going to go back and put the monogram on that, or the initial on that. But see, the key shows from the outside and then the number tab on the bottom. Okay, and then this is some thin fabric with little butterflies on it. And then here's just a beautiful flower. Is that called a lotus? I don't know what that's called. It is pretty. And this beautiful placemat. I put some of the pom-pom trim here, again, for the layering effect on the outside. Coming down the center of this signature is some more fabric, and then there's a felt flower here with this little pretty mustard yellow bead in the center. And I just thought it coordinated so well with the fabric that I used on the center. If you haven't watched my videos before, I do use fabric on the centers of my pages so that this is all watercolor paper, so that if you do get water and it drips down, the fabric just helps the integrity of the paper so that the paper doesn't rip and tear over time. I want these to be like heirloom pieces. I want this to be something that lasts a long time for a person. So yeah, I try to use fabric that is a good fit for the journal. And there's the other side of that fabric with the butterflies, and it has actually a butterfly on there. And then I put the elastic band, I put some space between these two signatures and added an elastic band just for journaling space. And this is removable. That again is elastic, so you can slide these in and out to write on and then add more pages to it, take some away, or whatever you like to do. So that's just all paper for writing on. And then this is a really pretty placemat. And then this beautiful trim here, real thick and full. Again, it adds personality. All of the paper has like gesso and ink and coffee staining, many little layers that go onto the paper just for, again, extra personality. And the center of this signature has some blue to it, like that. And then that completes the flip through. And then this is the buttons I was telling you that you'll be able to see from the back of the journal where I attached on the burlap. And this is all the original paper that was on the journal. And this has a fabricy linen feel to it. Let me put that little piece of wood back there. So that's going to go like that. So yeah, if you have any questions, please let me know. I do still have a little list of people who are interested in getting a journal from me. And so I do have an email at ScribblesInTime@gmail.com. If you're interested in getting one of my journals, please shoot me an email and I will add your name to the list. I do still have a list going, so I'm not sure yet if this one is spoken for. I've already reached out to the first person on the list and let them know that I'll be posting the video, and I do like to hear a response within about, so sorry about that, I'm back. I got interrupted. Someone rang my doorbell, And so anyway, what I was saying is I've already messaged the first person on the list to let her know that I will be posting this video, and I did message the second person as well and let her know, so that if the first person ends up not wanting this particular journal, the second person can kind of be on standby. And then from there, I will go down the list, and if no one's interested in the journal, I will then post this on my Etsy shop, which is also ScribblesInTime. That's just kind of the route I'm going for now. I'm, you know, talked about in other videos that I have kind of some ideas in mind. But in the meantime, that's kind of the way I'm going with this. And yeah, if you have any questions or want to get added to the list, please message me on, please email me. And otherwise, I hope you all have a blessed day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I love you all.